disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me this week, one of my podcast partners, the mighty Joe Hartley. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, Gene?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you have CTE, Chris, Los, and Travis. On Wednesdays, it's us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, Mike, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Joe, it's showtime.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. How was your weekend and your week?
My week was pretty relaxed. You know, work and family, and that's about it.
No emergencies at the house. You have power yet?
We're good with power. We're good with the internet. No, nothing crazy this week. Thank God.
All right. That's good. My week was busy as normal. This weekend I actually was doing a lot of work. This weekend, doing some t-shirts, doing some promotional stuff for my karate club, different marketing things, and I was just busy all weekend, and then I had my son with me on Sunday. He's with me every weekend. He's with me at some point, either Saturday or Sunday. He spends the day with me. So, we
I've seen you guys doing the sparring drills.
Yeah. So, because he's part of my class, and he works out with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Zoom. Okay. And I just want to reiterate some of the stuff that I'm teaching them on Zoom, and by him being my son, I actually can help correct the different things that I see him doing wrong, as opposed to my other students. Until we get back in person next month, I'm not able to really correct them. So, he's just getting a little leg up right now, so working on some, back fist, reverse punch, some roundhouse kicks, just working on some of the fundamentals.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but other than that, man, it's been pretty good, man. Watch Cobra Kai, of course. That's what we're going to talk about today, Cobra Kai Season 2. But you know what, man? This is not going to be like our normal review, because it was no way I was going to write notes for all 10 episodes. And we're going to cover the whole season in this 1 hour podcast tonight. So, so we can just freestyle and jump around. It does not have to go in any type of particular order. As far as our review for this podcast, let's just jump right into it.
All right, man. Let's do it.
All right, Season 2. Let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite episode of Season 2?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I do have a favorite episode of Season 2. I really like the whole Cobra Kai series. And so to me, I like the overall idea of it. Mm-hmm. I find myself liking Johnny more in the Cobra Kai series than I did in the first Karate Kid, which I didn't expect, but I like. I liked how they bring him in as the same old Johnny, but he can transform. And he's trying to get better, constantly working on himself.
I don't know if he's the same old Johnny. I think he's a lot worse than he was than Karate Kid, as far as his situation.
Well, he's been through some trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some ups and downs. He's had a lot of things not quite go his way, and I think the more he starts helping out these kids, the more he starts to realize, more about himself and what he can do and what he can bring to the martial arts world, and then still have that Johnny a flair on the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I 100% know what you mean.
So that's where I like him. And I also find in this, maybe, you enjoy the fact that they make Daniel look a little bit more of a douchebag, or maybe that's just who he is. Like, I do think they poke at Daniel a lot more in this, but the series is called Cobra Kai, not, Miyagi-Do or Daniel-san. So,
well, but Daniel, the way he acts to me in Cobra Kai is how he acts as a young man in the Karate Kid movies. Like, I'm not really seeing a difference. And the only reason I say that is because I know people who I knew when they were younger, and they acted the way that Daniel acted. And as an adult, they act how Daniel acts as an adult now.
Yeah, I mean, even to go back to season 1, I had an issue because, of course, I do like Miyagi-Do. I do like Daniel-san. And so I had the issue with, why was he so hard about getting rid of Cobra Kai? Why not just sit back and give it a chance without John Crease? Let's see what Johnny can do. Because if you remember at the end of Karate Kid 1, he did, say, hey, Daniel, you're all right. Here's your trophy. And then we kind of seen where Crease was more of the problem than Johnny, because of, you go into the second movie and we see how crazy Crease really is.
And I think that's why Daniel is so scared of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
It's because of the events in the third movie. I think that had a traumatic effect on him.
But if he really stepped back and really looked at the story of Miguel from the beginning in the Cobra Kai season 1, which I know he does eventually get there, but I feel like maybe they could have introduced that part a little bit earlier. Like, let's show what Johnny is actually doing for Miguel and some of these other kids, man. I mean, To me, that is the biggest part of this whole series and this movie is what Johnny, although his ways, yes, we can say are different and maybe a little out there, he's still taking these kids with low self-esteem, with who are getting bullied every day, who are getting picked on, and he's picking them up and giving them something to believe in, which I think is a good thing. I just think his methods, him and Daniel can learn from each other more than they got to fight. And I feel like that's what, they're leading towards in, season 3 and 4. But, I would have liked to see more of that. Like Daniel should be able to, in my eyes, when training with Miyagi and everything like that, he should be able to look and say, hey, there's more to this than meets the eye. Instead, he's just got blind rage over Cobra Kai. And a lot of times his wife is the one kind of talking him down a little bit.
Yes. She is his Miyagi.
She is. She really is.
Yeah, she is his Miyagi. And I like the fact that Daniel is still kind of like, they didn't change him from the first movie. I mean, from the first series, the Karate Kid series. He's still like, I would have been upset if he acted more like Mr. Miyagi. I like the fact that he's still a hothead himself. And like you said, man, him and Daniel are two sides of the same coin to me.
They really are, and they keep showing that. And kind of, I'm really interested to see coming up in season 4 how they're going to coexist together.
Yeah.
I'm very, very. I know there's going to be some issues, and I love it. I think it's going to be great, but I'm really interested to see how they can coexist together. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. Whatever the last season is for them, I think they'll eventually end up having a school together, and Daniel will probably run his dealership and come in and teach from time to time, and Johnny will probably run the dojo pretty much full time. Speaking of that, so this takes place in the summertime.
Yep. And
my thing is, like, geez, do they have to do karate all day? Because, saying that is a little funny, because I know that there were plenty of times, where my uncle would pick me and Trav up, and we would be at the karate school literally all day in the summertime. Ski will be there, James Garnett, and some of the other people we train with, and we would just be at the school all day. So that's not abnormal. But at the same time, my uncle was not holding class all day. Like he would be in and out, or he would be doing things, or he'll tell us to work on different things, and we'll do different things. But I just didn't understand like why Daniel could not go to work and then come to the dojo, Miyagi-Do, and teach the kids at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. I didn't get that.
Daniel was too distracted about getting rid of Cobra Kai. He really couldn't get over that, and that's like I said, that's where my issue is with Daniel in this whole thing. Again, I'm still on his side for most things, but
you gotta slip that in there, huh?
Well, I just want to say, but I really did have as I was watching this, I always just had an issue with why he went out of his way to do certain things to go against this Cobra Kai, and I get that because it was a issue for him, and he was definitely victimized by them. But to say that, to just not even believe that someone can redeem themselves, I just feel like that goes against some of his teachings. Yeah,
especially even in season 1, when Daniel and Johnny first see each other, Daniel was still, he kind of let the past go when it came to Johnny. Like he was not, treating Johnny the way that he treats him. He felt he was above him. He felt he won. Yeah, he did.
I beat you. You're kind of in the dumps right now. I got a good life. I got a good thing going on. I got 2 kids. I got a dealership. I got a beautiful wife.
Johnny, what Johnny did was not as bad to Daniel as what Mike Barnes did.
Oh, 100%.
If Mike Barnes had walked in there instead of Johnny, I don't think Daniel would have been like that. I don't think he would have been happy to see you. Hey, how you doing? Give him a hug. I think he would have said, "What the hell are you doing in my dealership?"
Oh heck yeah, he would have had security or his cousins or someone.
Yeah,
go beat him up or something.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Johnny. This season starts off with Johnny coming face to face with John Crease at the very opening scenes of this.
What did you think about the end of season 1 when you saw John Crease? Did you what was your reaction? Your initial reaction to
that? I said, "Oh shit."
That's exactly what I said. My God, 100%.
I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it either.
I wasn't expecting
it one bit. I said, "No way are they bringing this fool in." And when they did, I said, "Oh, it's all about to be crazy right now."
Yeah, when you hear the door, when he opens the door and walks in, you hear the little bell ding. I thought it was going to be Miguel's mom. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was coming in at that point, because he says Miguel and then he gets up, and I thought it was going to be his mom. Like, thank you for everything. No, I thought it was going to be some type of connection right there. I was not expecting Crease.
Do you want to know what one of my other theories were at first?
What's that?
That he wasn't real.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I was reading something this week, and it was an old thing from I guess another podcast group, and they said the same thing. They thought that Crease was a figment of Johnny's imagination. That never crossed my mind at the end of it. I just assumed it was him. I
had a debate with a friend of mine at work who's really into the Karate Kid, and we had a long debate about, and I said, no, I want him to be real, and I want him to be a part of season 2, but said, just what if he was not real? What if Johnny was seeing things and this was almost like a ghost of his past?
That would have messed up his head for season 2. If that happened, wow.
So I was really curious, and then of course, I think they leaked. I don't know if it was a leak or whatever, but we already knew he wasn't a ghost because they kind of basically said he's going to be a part of season 2. So
yeah, I mean, but you know what? He does not like Crease because it was on site. As soon as he saw him, they got to fight him in the dojo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I understand Johnny's point of view of why he did that. I mean, the last time he came face to face with Crease, Crease was trying to choke him out.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he Johnny, and there's no telling, because we don't really know what happened to Johnny while he was growing up under John Crease. You know,
Yeah.
I'm quite sure Crease has done some crazy exercises or some crazy drills or just the verbal abuse that Johnny probably. So he probably has some pent up emotions about John Crease.
Well, the other thing is you know, you do find out that Crease was a father figure to him.
Yeah.
So to have this guy who is your father figure and to look up to him, you know, I mean, the way we look up to Sensei Richard, and then have that guy turn around and basically try to kill you.
Yeah.
That will mess anybody up.
Yeah.
That will mess all together. I mean, that will really, you know, because his stepdad kind of sucks. His real dad, they don't ever talk about his real dad.
No.
And then, you know, the guy that you kind of looked up to and was your mentor for so long is now coming at you, and just that'll destroy your whole life. And
it kind of did. I mean, after that, you know, Cobra Kai goes down pretty much after that. You know, we see in Karate Kid 3 that John Kreese pretty much lost all of his students because of that. But, you know, I like the fact that Johnny still tried to give him a second chance.
Yes.
You know, he let him come around. I don't know. I don't even know if I would have did that, though. Honestly, myself, I don't know if I would have had him around my students.
But to me, that's what I like about the show is Johnny is willing to give him a second chance. This shows to me some growth from Johnny. Some growth that I think that I would have liked to see out of Daniel, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What about the car? Did you like that car?
Which one?
The Challenger. The way Johnny.
I love the Challenger. The Challenger was fantastic. My buddy, works at a dealership, and he just had one that was a real nice one like that. And let me tell you, the inside to the outside, that car is really, really nice. And then the Cobra Kai logo and everything he put on it, it was nice.
I never had a Challenger, but I did have a Charger. I had a midnight blue Charger. It was nice, man. But you know what? I could not. I had a hard time driving it in the snow because it was rear wheel drive. You know, so I was always getting stuck. If it snowed, I just did not go anywhere because
in Michigan you gotta have a winter car.
Yeah,
which sucks because who wants to pay for that? But yeah.
Not only that, you gotta pay for insurance for both cars, you know. Yep. And I actually stay in the city of Detroit, so my insurance. I'm not in the suburbs, so that means that my insurance is going to be sky high for 100%. No damn reason. For no damn reason.
Just because.
Yeah, man. I a couple months ago, I had a big argument with the people at Progressive because there's just no way my insurance should be higher than my car note. You know, but
I agree.
But we had a nice little talk, and they eventually saw things my way and made that adjustment for me. John, let's talk about Crease a little bit now. What did you think about him, man? I mean, because he came in with this sob story. He was acting like he was trying to apologize, and then he starts telling Johnny about what he did after Cobra Kai shut down, that he re-enlisted in the army, and he went and did strikes in Desert Storm, and all of these different places in the Middle East. Were you buying that story at first?
No, and I'm going to tell you the writing on this was fantastic because what they did is the same thing they did to Johnny, they did to us. Is just when you think, he's full of shit, he's done, where's the real Crease going to be? Johnny follows him and finds him at a homeless shelter, basically.
Yes.
And that to me was where it sold it to everybody, or it should have.
Yeah.
And then in the back of your mind, you're going, well, maybe he really is down on his luck. Maybe he really, needs that pick me up. Maybe he really, let's give this guy a chance. And they really, to me, it was like, okay, let's see where this goes. But then you just knew in the back of your mind, slowly you could see that John Crease coming up from the bottom.
Yeah, you could see him just his relationship with Hawk.
Yes.
You knew that he was manipulating Hawk, and then that's when all of that sympathy that you had for him in whatever episode that was,
it went out real quick.
It went out the window real quick. I did not feel bad that he was living in that shelter, and
no, not at all.
After that, I don't know. I wonder where he really was all of that time, because he said he spent the last 10 years in the homeless shelter. So if this show came out in 18, that might have been, or 17, whatever it was, that puts him at around 2007, 2008. But the Karate Kid supposedly had ended in 85. So between 85 and 2008, I wonder, what was John Crease's life? What happened to him after he closed Cobra Kai again for a second time?
We'll probably get more about that because, I don't know if you've seen, but they have confirmed supposedly Terry Silver coming into the new season.
Yeah, so I did see that.
I think he can. I think we're going to have to see, because there's no way that Terry Silver is going to allow John Crease to just, be a bum on the street, unless they had a falling out. But other than that,
it could have been his pride. It could have been a pride, because he said that a friend tried to offer him a job, but he didn't want to take it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So it could have been a pride thing. Who knows? But I was just thinking, like, you don't have to open up a Cobra Kai dojo in the Valley only. You can just go up to LA. You can go to the Bay, go to Oakland or San Francisco, San Diego. There's plenty of other places you can go open up a school that don't know you, don't know Cobra Kai, and he could have just started all over again, So who knows? Let me ask you this. It was interesting that they did not really, this season really was not Miguel centered. Like you might have thought it would have been. They touched on it. We saw him trying to apologize to Sam, and that was really frustrating me. But I had to keep reminding myself, these are kids, and kids, they don't act like adults, and they don't do things like
not only
adults.
that, but Miguel, before that, think about the way he was before. He could have never pulled someone like Sam, or really anybody at the time when he was quote unquote Rhea. So yeah, so for him, that was his first love, if any love, and he was obsessed. So like you said, being a kid and some of his other situations, yeah, he was definitely obsessed.
Well, I was more so talking about Sam and not Miguel, because Miguel was trying to apologize, and my thing was, okay, the kid was drunk. She should have known that you don't talk or act your normal way when you're drunk, when you're inebriated, right?
Yeah.
So I would have thought that, okay, now that he's sobered up, we can talk about what happened. But she did not want to talk at all. She kept blowing him off, and they never really sat down. I think if they were both had been able to sit down and talk to each other, they could have, found out, what happened, why Miguel was drinking, what bothered him to drink. That whole thing that happened in season 1, if they sat down and talked, they could have been, hashed it out. Well,
the problem was that she had to hear from her dad so much about how bad Cobra Kai was.
Yeah.
Then she was seeing Miguel, who was, although he was Cobra Kai material, he didn't quite take on the Cobra Kai ideals until, Johnny was really instilling that into him, and then Crease was kind of hammering it in, and then she saw that all come out when he was drunk. So that's, to me, she's just she's listening to her dad, and she was against everything her dad was saying until she saw it for the first time. And so I think she was really taken back by that, and she had to, reassess like where she wanted to be with this relationship and if she wanted to be in it at all.
Yeah. Well, what about Robbie? Let's talk about Robbie now. We see a different Robbie in season 2 than we did in season 1. It seems like exactly what Johnny has done for Miguel, Daniel has done that for Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie's bought into the whole Miyagi Do way, the Daniel son version of it, and he's 100% hooked. He's a part of the LaRusso family. And,
I think that was the major thing. This was the first time that Robbie was in a situation where he had a family. If karate wasn't even involved, I think he still would have changed just by being around Daniel and the family and having someone that's like a father figure and a mother figure with him, all the time and doing different family things that they probably would have done together. I think that's what really turned things around for him.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference just to see that dynamic.
Yeah.
And, how much, and it really makes you think like, oh, what would his life would have been like if maybe Johnny and his mom would have been together and would have had a decent relationship.
I don't think that would have been the best relationship for him to be around. Only because if Johnny and his mom were different, if they weren't, because obviously Johnny has a drinking problem. He likes, and his mom has a drinking and pill problem. So if they were just both drunk and high all the time, I don't think that would have been good for Robbie to be around. Or, I don't know, man.
He was super protective of his mom as well.
Yeah.
Against anybody that was coming around.
Well, she constantly had different guys coming in.
Yeah.
She had all these different guys coming around.
Hey, tell me this. From the beginning, what did you think about Johnny flipping the switch on the dirty fighting in the tournament?
Well, I mean, Johnny never was for that anyway. Like even in the Karate Kid 1, when I never even understood this part, when John Crease tells him to sweep the leg, and he looks like he's like shocked, like, you want me to do what? Like a sweep is not an illegal technique. No,
but I think he was shocked that he wanted him to go after an injury like that.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't even know why you'd be shocked because that was the whole thing.
I didn't think about the leg. I did not think. I didn't. It just never thought. Oh yeah, that leg is hurt. I never thought about it. I was always stuck on the sweep thing. Like it's a sweep. Like that's. Okay.
Asked him to go after that leg, but
yeah, I didn't think about that. But
Johnny was still teaching no mercy, so the students picked up on that, and that is why Miguel went after Robbie.
Yeah,
in the shoulder.
Yeah, but that wasn't a tournament technique. To grab his arm and yank his arm down like that, hurt his shoulder, possibly his wrist also. The way he grabbed him, he could have broke his wrist also.
Yeah. But I'm saying, okay, so was Johnny more upset that Miguel won in that fashion, or was he more upset because it was his son who was taking the abuse?
I think both, but I think he would have been just as upset if Miguel had did that to that other kid, Xander. I think Johnny would have been upset with that also, and even with Hawk, he was upset with Hawk because. Robbie had his back turned, and like the judge didn't say go or anything. He just walked up and did like a front push right to the back of his shoulder, and hurt him. Like that had nothing to do with competition. If a kick like that had happened when the judge said go, I don't think Johnny would have had that big of an issue with it. If Miguel had did something else to Robbie that might have been considered a little bit too hard of a technique, I don't think Johnny really would have had an issue. But I think that all of those things did not happen during the competition. They happened during a break, a stoppage, So that's what I think. But like once again, like in the first Karate Kid movie, like the guys that were standing around when Crease was telling them to do different things, they really didn't like that. And honestly, they felt like they were better than Daniel in the first Karate Kid movie. Bobby even said, like, I could beat this guy, like, why, out of commission, like,
But here's the thing so if we want to go back to that, they had no problem when it was 5-on-1 against Daniel, beating the crap out of him.
Well, like, listen. Okay, listen. I'm gonna break this down for you again, man. Daniel was not beat up for the whole Karate Kid movie. There was 3 incidents that happened between him and Cobra Kai. It was only 3.
I'm just saying, why were they okay with no mercy in that situation, but then they were not okay with it at the tournament?
Because that was a street situation. In a street situation, you do not have mercy. You don't. I mean, it depends on who you're fighting, especially in Detroit, in the city. I'm not talking about the suburbs. I'm talking about the city. I mean, there are. I mean, and even still, even with that, man. I mean, you are. If you're gonna have a fight, man, you got to make sure that you get home at the end of the night. So you got to do whatever you got to do in order to get back home. Now with Daniel and Johnny, like their situation was not life threatening. But at the same time, like I said earlier, like these are kids, and kids are going to listen to whatever they're taught, you know. And
that's what I'm saying. What changed in the tournament that they didn't want to listen to their instructor? I mean, they did listen.
Well, they didn't want to get disqualified. They didn't want to lose. Yeah, you know. Like I said, like Bobby got disqualified because of him having to listen to John Crease. Like I said on another podcast, there are evidently Dutch gets disqualified. That's how he loses to Daniel in the tournament. So I mean, I guess they're like, why do we want to keep getting disqualified? When we have better skills than this guy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
So, but I don't, like I said, man. But I wouldn't, man. I couldn't imagine my son being in somebody else's school and the other person is coaching them and they're going against my student. Like that is a messed up situation. And then on top of that, you see my son is hurt. That's still my son. That's still my kid. Of course. And now my students are actually hurting him more. Man, I probably would have done the same thing that Johnny did, when they got back to the school.
Well, and Miguel eventually does kind of call Johnny out for that because he tells him, well, who is it? Are you for your son or are you for Cobra Kai? And Johnny kind of didn't really have it. He said at the time, oh, yeah, I'm for you guys. But in the back of his mind, he still wants a relationship with his son.
Of course. I mean, any father would. Any good father would. Hawk, let's talk about Hawk and Dimitri.
Sure.
So when we start off this season, they are friends. They're still buddies. Now we start to see Hawk starting to change a little bit. Dimitri is not changing. He's still being his same annoying, goofy self. I think that Dimitri is actually the cause of the problems from the point where when he wrote that Yelp review, that is the problem. That became the problem. That's the problem zero between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. Up until that situation, there was no real physical altercations between both dojos up to that point.
Did that happen before or after Tori and Sam were at the club?
That happened before, but at that time, Sam did not know that Tori was part of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, true.
And she didn't like her only because she felt that she thought she was better than Tori.
Oh, 100%.
And, she didn't like the fact that Tori had I think that she stole some vodka or whatever.
Yeah, she stole some vodka.
And Sam didn't like that and told her to put it back. And, and when Sam's mother's purse and wallet ended up being stolen, she immediately blamed Tori. I would have been upset too if I was Tori.
No, she was wrong for that.
Yeah, I mean, and then she reached out to grab her purse. I guess she wanted to check her purse. Like she already had told her, like, I didn't rob your mom, And so then she pushed her, and she failed. Sam failed on the table with all of the desserts, So, but like I said, she did not know that she was part of Cobra Kai at that point in time. So I don't really
trying to think if that could have started it more.
Yeah,
than, the Yelp review, but yeah, Dimitri's he likes to start stuff. He has a big mouth, but he also, he can't back it up. That's the problem.
He's another one of those people. There's so many people in this show, man, that I know people like this. I know a lot of people. I mean, really, man. And Dimitri is one of those people that just says the wrong thing at the wrong time, and he gets himself in trouble.
Well, he's a pessimist, man. He's really negative about a lot of things, and even his life plan. What was his life plan to basically be the next Jeff Bezos or
something like that?
Yeah, to make a lot of money and get all his women then and everything like that. And it's like, dude, you can have a better life now. You just got to start acting right. And that's the thing. Like, I think Hawk kind of tries to tell him that from a certain standpoint. But the problem is, Dimitri's okay with the way he is. And Hawk wasn't. Hawk wanted to be Hawk.
Yes.
He didn't want to be, what was his original name? Was it
Eli?
Eli. He didn't want to be Eli anymore. He wanted to be Hawk.
Yeah.
And, to a certain point, like that part was great. The fact that he was able to gain that confidence with just a mohawk and a tattoo and, a little bit of a attitude. But then, later he shows that he kind of has a chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Crease takes that and runs with it.
Well, yeah, Hawk was trying to make sure that Eli did not come back. He got rid of Eli, and
Eli was never Cobra Kai material to begin with.
Yes. Well, I mean,
nobody would put up with Eli. Let's be honest. Even Daniel was having trouble with Eli.
No, you mean Dimitri?
Dimitri.
Yes,
he was having trouble with Dimitri, and honestly, Dimitri's lucky that he got to stick around there.
He really is. He really is, man, because he was getting on my nerves training with Daniel. I mean, he was just whining and complaining. And, he went out of his way to write this Yelp review. Now, I understand Eli being upset about it, but, I think he took it too far to assault him in the comic book store. And then, but Eli wasn't scared. I mean, Dimitri, he wasn't scared. He even said, "I'm not scared of you." When Chris, and I don't even know that other guy's name. All they did was call him
Bebop and Rocksteady. Oh yeah,
well, yeah. They don't really. I don't even. I'm going to have to look up this kid's name because they don't call him anything else in the show ever. So I don't even know his real name.
Another name for him.
Yeah. So those two guys were there, and there was another two guys, and they got ready to attack Dimitri, but Dimitri brought that on himself. He even said he got in the fighting stance and said, "Well, I just joined Miyagi though." It's like, why would you brag about that? Like, why would you say that?
He had to try, man.
Look, he could have just. Now that's one situation when he could have just walked away. Like, look, I'm not changing. If he felt that way about that Yelp review, I'm not changing it. I'm out of here. I'm about to get my comic book and I'm about to walk away.
No, he was running. He was running for his life. And he had to.
Well, he runs out to he tries to run back to Robbie and Sam, and they're not there. And he's being circled by Cobra Kai when Robbie and Sam show up to save him. And they have a fight in the I'm about to call it the cafeteria. What do they call it in the mall?
Like a lobby? I don't know.
No, it's a food court. That's what it's called.
Food court.
So they have a fight in the food court, and Cobra Kai loses somehow. They lose.
Man, how can you pass up that part? They lose because Sam and Robbie used the training that they were doing on the floating raft with the bonsai trees.
I don't care. It's still 5-on-2. They should have lost.
That's what the training's for. Come on, man.
But yeah, but they weren't just fighting against regular other kids that were just regular non-martial artists. They were fighting against other martial artists.
But the other guys had just joined Cobra Kai, and Hawk was the only one with any real skill, and he was still kind of a beginner.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. And they get beat up, and that is when.
And we don't really know how long Sam has been training. She's just getting back into it, and she already showed some skill at the end of season 1, and then getting back into it. She's So we don't know. She could be an actual true black belt for all we know.
Yeah, that's possible. Well, she said she hadn't trained in 8 years, so she was training sometime when she was a little kid.
Yeah.
So she stopped around when she was 8. She could have started when she was 5. But Miyagi-Do is not traditional karate.
No.
They don't. Even though they do kata and they do forms, but I don't. Mr. Miyagi does not go through any type of belt ranking system. So who knows? And and we find that out with Julie. Also in the next Karate Kid movie, she learned karate when she was little by her dad, from her dad. She learned Miyagi-Do. So, yeah. So let's move on. My favorite scene my favorite episode was episode 9 when Johnny and Carmen went on a date and Daniel and Amanda showed up. I like seeing the friction between Daniel and Johnny, but then they realized that, they have a lot more in common. We saw that in season 1 in episode 9 when they were test driving the Challenger. And then we see it here, and we see it again in season 3 also. So I think they really have, I think they realize it themselves, honestly. They don't want to admit it, that they see each other in each other. You know what I mean?
But the girls pointed out to him.
Yeah.
Daniel's wife pointed it out to him more than once. And then Carmen pointed it out to Johnny one time. And, of course, Johnny wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah. What about do you have a least favorite episode or scene?
To be honest with you, I like the fight scene in the final episode, but I don't like what it represents altogether in the series.
I did not really like the fight scene.
The thing that being in a school like that is hard to do a really good fight scene, but I was really hoping for something different. Like, I always like a tournament, and I get that they don't want to just do a tournament at the end of every episode, so I get that. But to have a brawl like that between two karate clubs, to me, it wouldn't happen that way.
Exactly. That's why I don't really care for it.
Especially, even an undisciplined karate school like Cobra Kai and a more supposedly disciplined karate club like Miyagi-Do, it just wouldn't go down that way. We're trained to try and avoid more fights than we are to get in fights. So even if you have competing dojos, I just don't think that a fight in a school is going to be good for either side.
Yeah, and the fighting in the school and the fighting that was at Coyote Creek.
Yeah,
I think that was the name of the place in the woods that they went. It was just too unbelievable. Like the techniques and things that they were doing, it wasn't believable to me. Like, if that was in a Jackie Chan movie or a Jet Li movie, fine. That's fine.
Yeah, well, for sure. But, they're trying to create this drama. They want to give us fight scenes, which I understand that, and I get it. But like I said, to me, the brawl in the school like that was don't get me wrong, it definitely added some drama, and it was interesting. And, where they took it in the next season was great. But to me, it was unrealistic. And when I'm just coming from a karate background, I just said to myself, it was a little cringy.
Yeah. But that, and also, like, I had a problem with, like, only one teacher attempted to step in. Just one. Like, there's no other teachers in that school. Like, nobody was yelling, "Hey, stop it, get off him, get off her." None of that.
I was too out of control.
Yeah, but come on, like, man, at my high school, I went to Redford. I went to Redford High School. Now, we didn't even have regular security guards at my high school. We had the police. The police were my security guards in my school. So a fight like that would have never had happened. There were shootings, but there was no fights. Not like that.
A little more extreme.
Oh yeah. There was I'm not going to talk about on the podcast, but off the podcast we could talk, man. Some bad stuff happened at my high school, man, and a fight like that would have never happened. Like even still, man, even if it was my elementary school, there would have been teachers grabbing kids if a fight broke out like that.
I'm not sure that the teachers can necessarily get involved to that extent.
You know what? There are different rules nowadays.
I think rules. Even then, I remember. I can't remember. I think it was in 9th or 10th grade. I got into a altercation in a classroom, and the teacher was blowing her whistle, and I'm like, I kind of thought in my head, like, that whistle ain't gonna do nothing. This guy, the second I let up on this dude, he's gonna be on top of me. So someone went and grabbed like the janitor or something like that. And the janitor, he never got between us, but when he came in, like, he just was like, raised his voice, kind of got in between us, but he didn't really like actually physically break it up. And then, we had to go to the office and all that crap. But so I don't know what the rules are as a part of that. You want to keep everyone safe, but you also want to get rid of the altercation.
Yeah, it's just so like this generation of kids is just so different now, because we can have a fight and it'll be over with a week later,
Yeah.
Now, you can have a fight and someone could bring a weapon to school the next day, or you can have a fight and you can get beat up and you can try and harm yourself because you're so hurt, and embarrassed by what happened,
Well, or people are just going to go, they like to bully on the social media and everything, which to me is even worse. I mean, I've been in fights with people, and then, a week later we're friends, and you don't even talk. You remember that time we got in a fight? Oh yeah. What was that about anyway? You're just like, I don't know, something stupid.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like you said, it just people take it too far.
Yeah. So let's talk about something else. So the fight was not one of my favorite parts of this show. Another episode that I not that I have a problem with, and not that I didn't enjoy it, but when the old Cobra Kai guys show up, the original Cobra Kais, they show up in, I believe, episode number 6.
I love that episode. Come on.
No, I don't. The ending gets me. So Tommy dies at the end. They take him off for one last night. He has cancer and he passed away. Like that type of stuff, man, like that type of stuff gets me. And I don't even like watching that part because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, it's like, it's like that with movies.
Didn't he pass away in real life though?
He did pass away in real life. Not long after this came out, he passed away.
That's what I'm saying. So I think they were just trying to send him off, like a champ.
I know, but it's just not with this show. It's like that with a lot of different things. Like when I'm watching the Temptations movie, when it gets toward the end, when everybody starts dying, like I stop it. I don't want to see that part. I don't want to relive that. I saw it once.
You gotta have some drama, man. You gotta have some pain so they can come back stronger from it.
Yeah, that type of stuff. I just don't like it. I did enjoy seeing those guys, and they didn't look the same to me. Like when I see Johnny, like Johnny kind of looks like Johnny how he did in the first movie. The other Cobra Kai guys, they don't really look like how they look in the first movie. But I like
how they showed them, like when they first appeared on screen.
Yeah.
They kind of showed them back in the Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because I didn't know who Bobby was at first.
Exactly.
I was like, who's this guy? And then, when they did that little flashback, I was like, oh, so that's him. Okay, he looks different, but okay. And then Tommy, like I wouldn't have never ever thought that was him.
Which one's the one that put him in a body bag?
Yeah, that's Tommy. That's Tommy. That's the one that was who had cancer, and that's exactly what they did to him at the end of the episode. They put him in the body bag. That was. We shouldn't be laughing at that.
You know what? It's a TV show. It is what it is.
The only person that didn't show up was Dutch, and they say that he was in jail. That was the excuse that they gave. They said that he was in jail. But in real life, Chad McQueen didn't want to reprise the role. I read something somewhere.
Why you wouldn't want to, man?
He said that after the first Karate Kid movie, he would get a lot of. I believe this is what he said, that he would get a lot of roles where he would have to be the bad guy or be the asshole in the movie, and he didn't want to get pigeonholed into only playing one type of character.
Man,
that's what I read.
I hate that about actors because you know what? If I'm an actor and I'm making money and I'm getting roles, I'll take whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm just not picky. I mean, I guess that's a pride thing with some of these actors and actresses. But you know what? If you do really well at some kind of role, I mean, to me, you should be happy that people want to see you in that role. Go for it. Make your money and get out. Come on.
a lot of people wish that he would come back because he's one of the people. If you're online, you see a lot of things about people saying they want to see Mike Barnes show up. They want to see Terry Silver show up. They want to see Julie show up. And he is one of those people that they say that they want Dutch to show back up, but I don't really think that he is going to ever pick that role back up. And
he should ride this wave while it's hot, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. So after Cobra Kai are defeated in the food court, Hawk breaks up with his girlfriend Moon. Well, she breaks up with him because of what he did to Dimitri. And Hawk storms into the Cobra Kai dojo, and he's hitting a punching bag. He's upset, and Crease walks in and starts manipulating his mind again. And
Hawk has a lot of demons that he's got to work out through this whole thing, and that's perfect for Crease because he feeds off of that.
Yeah, and we don't really see this, but evidently Crease kind of talks Hawk into getting revenge and going to Miyagi-Do. And he gets some of his boys together. They go and they trash Miyagi-Do. They simply destroy it. They spray paint things. They knock things down. They break the windows and the doors. And they just really messed up the dojo. And Daniel, man, he looked pathetic. He looked absolutely pathetic when he saw what they did.
He's been there before. He's seen that kind of stuff happen before. And then on top of everything, they stole Miyagi's
Medal of Honor. And that pissed him off. He jumped in that yellow car and he drove all the way to Cobra Kai and walked right into the dojo to confront Johnny about it. And Johnny told him, I don't know what you're talking about, but he didn't believe him. What would you have done if somebody had came into your academy like that?
Oh, the way Daniel did?
Yes.
See, if you really trying to put me here. You know what? It wouldn't be good. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about that. But if I didn't know what he's talking about, I mean, that would piss me off even more because I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Leave me alone. Why are you coming at me all the time? So, yeah, I mean, I would be upset.
So you would have got upset twice because then Daniel makes an announcement to everybody in school. If there's anybody who wants to come over to Miyagi-Do, the doors are open. I mean, that...
Like I said, Daniel is not painted a good light in this movie. He is. They definitely want to make him. They want to make him the bad guy and Johnny the good guy. Like I said, the name of the show is Cobra Kai, so I get it. But
so some of the students actually leave, and they leave out. And I understood the kids who left. I understood why they left. Especially Chris, because Chris throughout as soon as he joined, that's the tall, heavyset black kid. He didn't like being there from the we see it because as soon as they get there, Hawk kind of teased them a little bit. They're giving them these crazy names, these crazy nicknames, and they just Hawk was treating them like a flunky. It
was his first time that he had a little bit of power.
Yeah.
It's the first time that he had anybody looking at him without looking at him at his lip, at his everything. So yeah, he was running with it.
Yeah. So he was really so I understood why he left. And some of the other kids, they were pretty much just background characters anyway. That they ended up leaving and going over to Miyagi-Do. Now, would you have trusted them if they showed up at Miyagi-Do and you were there? Would you have trusted them? Because Dimitri didn't, and Robbie didn't either.
I can see where you gotta. Honestly, my thing is you gotta give some trust to gain some trust, but no, not right away. I mean, it would be easy to think, especially if you know John Crease is in the mix, to say, yeah, they're sending someone over to infiltrate.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tori now. She shows up right after they did the demonstration. Matter of fact, let's talk about that demo. I like that demo. I liked how they did that demonstration.
I do too, actually, even though it was a dick move of Johnny.
What? Come on, man. Come on, you can't mean that.
I mean it 100%.
But what Daniel did wasn't a dick move? You didn't say that. He created the commercial for Miyagi-Do, and he even offered free karate and told people don't be a snake in the grass. You knew that was
come at him.
Huh?
He's tit for tat.
But Johnny hadn't done anything to him. Like, why would you do that?
I told you, Daniel. I don't know why Daniel wants to get rid of Cobra Kai, and it irritates me how the things that he's willing to do to get rid of them. He needs to just focus on Miyagi-Do and leave Cobra Kai alone. But instead,
that can't be a dick move by Johnny to come and take over the demonstration. Like, he had that coming. Like, Daniel,
it was a smart one.
Daniel fired the first shot.
It's still a dick move. He did fire the first shots.
And they got a bunch of new students, and one of those new students was Tori. Now, Tori has had some kickboxing lessons because she came in and she knew martial arts. But I think that, I see a lot of theories online that I don't like. Like, Tori does not have to have some other person be her mother or father. Terry Silver does not have to be her father. Julie does not have to be her mother, or that other girl, Jessica. They don't have to be this girl's mother. She could just be nobody. Like, there's no reason to have to connect her to anybody. Last year before this even came out, everybody was thinking that she was Allie's daughter.
Everybody wants to somehow think that they thought of it first, and then when it happens, they'll be, oh yeah, I told you.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
But yeah, that's.
People are always going to have some harebrained ideas.
Yeah, so she has had a rough childhood. Her mother is real sick. We find that out in season 3. We find out how bad her mom is. We don't really know in this season how bad her mom is. But all we know is that she has had a rough life, and she's a little bit of she's a tough girl.
Yeah. Definitely.
We see her. She's obviously irritated by Sam. Because of Aisha, didn't want to go to the beach club because she said that Sam will be there. We're not on good terms. So she asked Tori to come with her. And then that's where, so she already has negative feelings for Sam.
Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway. So then when she finds out that Miguel and Sam used to date, she really doesn't like her.
Oh, yeah. Well, not only that, but she's kind of picking on Miguel for being obsessed with her.
Yeah,
get over there and find someone new.
Exactly. Well, yeah, because he obviously was sad. He was upset. He knew he messed up, and he was just trying to fix that problem. And she was telling him to move on. And she even said, like, act like you don't want her. That's going to make her want you even more. I don't think that would have happened with Sam.
If Robbie wasn't in the mix, maybe.
That's true. Maybe if Robbie wasn't around, probably.
Because if you're sitting there and somebody else is kind of happy without you, and then you got nothing going on, yeah, you're going to be like, what am I missing out on?
So throughout the whole season, we see it building up between Sam and Tori. I think that at the end of season 4, this is my prediction. I want to be the first one to say it, but I think at the end of season 4, at the tournament is going to be Tori and Sam. And that's
Yeah,
what I think.
A lot of people say that.
I don't think that Miguel will be ready. I think he's going to lose to someone. I don't think Hawk will be there. I don't think they will have Robbie. So I think it'll be Sam and Tori because they have the most serious problems more than anyone else. We find out later that Hawk and Dimitri make up. But Robbie, obviously, he got the better of Miguel at the end of this season, which we're going to get into in just a second. And I don't really see them and Miguel got the best of him in season 1. I don't really see them doing having them fight in the tournament again. I really don't see it. But Sam and Tori have not resolved any type of issues between them.
A little bit under season 3, but I think it more kind of stoked the flames.
Yeah. It really exploded once Tori saw Sam kiss Miguel. So they have a party at Moon's house. Sam gets terribly drunk.
Sam and Tori having a competition.
Yeah, they're having a
competition.
They're having a drinking competition, and Sam gets extremely drunk, even though she ends up winning the competition, which was a little unfair because Tori had been playing the damn game before, Sam even joined. So Tori had probably 5-10 drinks ahead of Sam.
She's been drinking longer. She knows what she's doing.
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. So when Aisha tells Sam that Miguel brought back the Medal of Honor and gave it to Robbie, Sam realizes that she has messed up a little bit. And she goes to apologize to Miguel. Well, he comes over to talk to her because he sees that she's drunk. He's checking on her. And they talk, and then they end up kissing. And we see Tori looking out the window, and she sees this. And, man, she was pissed. When she showed up at the school and grabbed took over the PA system and told Sam that she was coming for her.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I like that part. I like how she did that. That was some good directing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the bad part of that scene. Miguel and Hawk are in class together, and they're talking. And, Miguel tells Hawk, I kissed Tori. And he was talking to him about it. So when that happens, they look up at the PA, and they hear Tori. Now, when the fight happens, Hawk is there. Miguel comes later. And I didn't understand, they're in the class together. How did Hawk beat Miguel to the fights?
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, if you ever go back and watch that last part again, they're talking in the classroom. And, we get to Tori, and then, Tori and Sam are coming toward each other. So when all the other kids are there, Hawk is there. And then we see Robbie, we see Miguel. They're running from different directions.
I wonder if Miguel might have gone to go find Sam to make sure she was okay.
He could have.
He was always more concerned about her anyway.
Yeah. That Miyagi, though, shit ain't going to help you.
Pretty much. I'm sure that's the way he felt.
Well, he wasn't wrong.
Well, I think he just knew Tori was crazy.
Yeah, and that's when the fight breaks out, and it's a war. Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai in the school. I was just thinking, man, where did all these Miyagi-Do students come from? Because it seemed like it was more than what we saw. I was thinking it was only 5 or 6 Miyagi-Do.
At the end, he had 10, 11, 12, something like that.
That's what it seemed like in that fight. It seemed like it was a lot more kids there.
Picked a couple people up off the street or something.
Yeah. And that's when we see Miguel. Him and Robbie are fighting. They're talking to each other as they're fighting. Miguel hits him with the headbutt and said, "You like that? Your dad told me that." That was
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was that would have pissed me off too. That would have most definitely. I just realized I'm looking at your headband. I'm looking at the Miyagi-Do headband. And I never realized this before, but the center of it is a flower.
Yeah,
I've never paid attention to it that closely before.
That's the whole thing, man.
I've never looked at it that closely before, man. I just never did. Okay.
So here's the last thing I got a problem with this whole fight between Robbie and Miguel, right? So it's supposed to be this big ending scene in this fight, and they're getting each of them are getting the best of each other one by one. They get a couple of blows, and then Miguel gains the advantage.
Right.
And he remembers that Johnny told him that sometimes there is a time you can show mercy.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Robbie. So here we are. Both sides are now, basically forgetting or remembering teachings that are different from what they're used to. And this is where the problem comes in, because now Miguel lets up, Robbie does not. Miguel gets knocked over the edge. Mm-hmm. And, as far as we know, he's got a broken back.
Broken back? He should have a broken neck, broken legs. He should have been all messed up.
And then on top of that, to me, for Sam to be like, "What'd you do?" What do you mean? What did I do? This is a fight. This is a fight. Like,
you know what's messed up about that?
What did I do?
You know what's messed up about that is she kicked Tori over the railing also.
Not that far though.
No, but I mean, how would Robbie know? Like, Robbie was just on the ground and just threw his leg up.
I agree 100%. I mean, and we're going to get into it next week for season 3 because I got some issues with that too. But all in all, one, you can't blame Miguel because, again, he's only listening to his instructor. Uh-huh. So, again, Johnny only knows no mercy. So for him to try and teach mercy, that's new ground for him. He doesn't know exactly how to get it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to teach that. So, of course, Miguel's confused, mercy, no mercy. What am I can't, I'm in a tournament. I beat up his son. Now he's telling me, that I suck. And then now I'm in a real fight and I show mercy. And now I just got beat up. And that's where, to me, I have a huge issue with all that because, and I know that's the drama they want to create. So I get it. But again, Robbie is only, he still thinks he's in a fight. He doesn't know that he's showing him quote unquote mercy. Yeah. And so of course, he takes his blow to try and, finish the fight. And then, without even knowing, he knocks him off the thing. And that's where everything is created. And now, of course, we come to John Crease, who has now taken this entire fight in this brawl, and he uses it as his chance to take over Cobra Kai.
He did, but actually he took over Cobra Kai without Johnny even knowing he took over Cobra Kai.
Well, he was slowly doing it on the download, but this is where we see now, nobody's going to respect Johnny at this point because now they're saying, you let us down. You're the reason that Miguel is hurt, that our comrade is down, that, that this is all on you.
So John Crease takes over Cobra Kai. What pissed me off about this part of it is, okay, if he taught the landlord into giving me the space, fine. All right. Well, I'm going to pack my shit and leave. I'm taking all my mats up. I'm taking all my focus mitts. I'm taking my punching bags. I'm taking everything.
You know what? Johnny is not in the right headspace at this point.
Yeah.
To make those decisions. I mean, give me a break. He's basically blowing up his free car that he got that has his advertising. That's also for advertising. He's throwing his phone. He's missing out on opportunities online. Yeah. So, I mean, he's not in the right headspace. His whole everything is just imploded when he was kind of coming up. He was kind of becoming a better person, a better instructor.
Things with karma was going good.
Yeah, everything was going good, and it all just came crashing down. And then for Crease to swoop in and say, that's just total John Crease mentality. So we know he's savage, man. He don't care about you. He only cares about himself.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how Cobra Kai season 2 ends. What'd you think? What grade would you give this season?
I loved it, man. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for sure, 100%.
Yeah, me too, man. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I give it an A-. I liked it a whole lot, man. If you listen to the podcast and you have something you want to say about Cobra Kai, feel free to say it. Leave it in the comments on our Facebook page. Just look for Martial Arts Center Network. You will see our Cobra Kai Season 2 thumbnail. Just go ahead and put it in there, because I know that we probably missed out on some things. You guys say, oh, y'all didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. Leave it in the comments. We'll get to it next week. You got anything closing you want to say, Joe?
Oh, man, just give us a listen. Make sure you download the podcast, share the podcast, let other people know, and, do what you can to help us out. Let's do it.
That's right. Let's get to 250 so we can have our Fist, Kicks, and Flicks with drinks watch along. That's going to be fun. I'm not going to make Angel, he doesn't drink. I'm not going to make him drink. I'm not going to do that, because I when I was 24, I didn't really drink either. And if somebody tried to pressure me into drinking, it wouldn't happen. That would have made me not want to drink even more. So I'm not going to pressure him. But
we're the same people that way. I'm the same way, man.
But thank you for listening to Fist, Kicks, and Flicks. Make sure you go and check out CTE. Make sure that you listen to the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. They always have entertaining guests on there. I'm not sure what's going on this week. I think last week I don't think they interviewed anybody, so they're probably just going to have an interview this week, but I'm not sure if they are or not. I don't know. Just listen to find out, see what they're talking about on Inside Scoop. Any closing remarks, Joe? Got anything?
I'm good, man. Let's do this.
All right. So you guys have a good one. Stay safe, stay strong, and we will see you guys next week. Director, play my music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.